Hello and welcome everyone. In today's video, we will be talking about these 4 studies of Taylor's scientific management. We are currently seeing Taylor's scientific management techniques. So among the techniques, Taylor prescribes 4 studies to be made, and they are method study, motion study, time study and fatigue study. Let us look at each and every one of them in detail. So let's first see what is method study. Method study in simple terms is to find out the one best way to do the job. There are always multiple ways to get any job done, but there will always be only one best way to do that same job. Taylor's advice is to find out that one best way and do every time the same job in that best way possible. So why should one always use the best way to do the job? If you use the best way or the best method, you will have the least cost, the least amount of wastage. You will also get the job done at the fastest time possible, and also your final output's quality will also be at its maximum. For these 4 reasons, Taylor prescribes to find out the best method and stick to it every time you perform that job. Let us see some example. I teach accountancy to class 11 and class 12. While students are preparing for their board exams, I advise them to attend all the 6 marks first, then attend 4 marks, then 3 marks, and then finally 1 mark. So I always suggest this order of attending the highest value question first and progressively going to the lower and lower value questions next. The simple logic why I suggest this type of reverse order of attending the paper is that, let's say you have written 74 marks and you just have 6 to 7 minutes left. If you have written 74 marks and you have only 6 minutes left, it is difficult to write one full 6 marks, but it is easy to write 6 1 marks. So that's the idea. At the last moment, you should keep only 1 marks for you. So even if you run short of time, you can quickly think and come up with answers for 1 mark. You cannot do the same thing for 6 mark question. So regarding class 12, regarding class 11 examinations, even to an extent writing CA exams, this is the best way to do this. So that's the method study for you. And let's talk about the second study, which is motion study. This is about study of movements on a factory floor during the normal course of production. The aim of this study is to minimize the in-transit movements inside factory. Okay, I will show you the example here, a disproportionately long house. I'll tell you a quick story. When I grew up, this is around 2003-2004, I used to go to my aunt's place, which was like 30-40 kilometers from my hometown. Her house exactly used to look like this. This was like already built around 1950, 1960. So it was already 50, 60 years old that time. Bad city planning and bad plot allocation. So they got a ground allocated to them exactly like this, 100 feet long, some 20 feet wide. So they had to have only one plan. This is exactly how they could build their house according to the blueprint. So the entrance will be here and backyard will be here. Kitchen is somewhere here. So let's say my aunt was cooking in the kitchen and somebody rings the bell at the door, and let's say there is a postman waiting at the entrance. My aunt has to come all the way, walk 100 feet, get the post collected and go back to kitchen all the way back. So this is exactly how. So let's say I have to go from end to end, they have to walk for 100 feet. So imagine the amount of time that it takes from going from one room to the next room, going from one end of the house to the next end of the house. That is the reason why modern day housing, the house is planned somewhat like a squarish and not like disproportionate rectangle. If you take from square feet perspective, this house and this house could be of the same dimension. This was actually a 2000 square foot house, and this could also be a roughly 2000 square feet house. But because of this structure, because of these dimensions, it is easy to navigate from one end of the house to the other end. You don't have to walk that much. You have to apply the same concept inside factory. Workers should not keep walking for a long period of time to get the tools, to move from one end of the line, assembly line, to the next end. Or let's say they have to take washroom break, or they have to go and drink water. Or for all these reasons, the Taylor's plan is to minimize workers' movement inside factory, because when workers move more, they don't spend their time in production. Movement is like a waste of time, and because of that extra time will be taken, and also workers will get tired much faster. So that was the idea behind motion study prescribed by Taylor. In your real life, where can you see motion study? You can see in railway stations, you can also see in airports. Railway stations and airports are designed in such a way that where passengers can enter the airport and get to their desired gate or desired platform in a much faster way, where they don't want to walk for much longer. If passengers are subjected to walk unnecessarily longer, it will create unnecessary crowd inside the airport, inside the railway station, which might result to some stampede occasions. So that's why when airports, right when they design the railway stations, right when they design the outlay, they make sure that the movement is extremely minimized. So that was the second point. And the third point is time study. This is quite obvious. Study of how long does it take to perform a job and how to optimize the process. It is also about how to plan your resources. It also helps in planning my resources. I'll give you examples. So the first thing about time study is Taylor used to stand with a stopwatch next to a worker and exactly measure the time to the last second. How long does it take to perform a particular job inside a big project, so that they can calculate the time taken at every stage of the project, add it up and give an estimation to the management to say that okay, for this particular job this much amount of time will be taken. Say to manufacture a scooter, it will take exactly 1 minute, because it spends 10 seconds here, 20 seconds there, 7 seconds here, 8 seconds there, add it all up, you get 63 seconds. So roughly every 60 seconds or every minute a scooter is being made. Or let's say it takes 3 minutes to manufacture a car. So again, there could be some 20 different individual stages inside the manufacture of a car. At each place it might take 10 to 15 seconds. So you add it all up, it might round up to 180 to 200 seconds inside the assembly line. So the computation, okay, it takes 3 minutes to manufacture a car from beginning to the end. So that's how it works in mass production of cars. Now I have given here an example called resource estimation during an audit. So this is again a personal example. We will do time study in order to get an estimate of how much resource is required to do a particular audit or a particular project. Let's say I have an audit assignment in a factory which is situated in Gujarat, and I was located in, my headquarters was in Chennai. I have to plan the entire trip to Gujarat. How long should I stay there? How long the work will be there? I will consult with my boss, and my boss will give me briefing about what are the exact tasks to be done in that particular project, and I will get an estimation of, say it will take 30 hours to complete that assignment. Now then I will ask my boss, how long is the deadline? Do I have 2 days to finish this project, or do I have 1 week to finish this project? If my boss says yes, you have to finish the project within 2 days, so 30 hours, isn't it? So I will go with 2 resources, which is me and one more person. We will work for 2 days. So totally 32 hours of productivity will be there, and we will be able to complete the assignment within 2 days. But if my boss says that it is not so an urgent work and I can take like 4 to 5 days to complete the project, then I alone will go to Gujarat and I will not carry any person along with me, because it will cost extra money, a flight ticket or a train ticket. Then there we will have to arrange for accommodation and everything. So I alone will go and finish the job in a much cheaper way, because I will work for 8 hours a day and the total time taken to complete the project is 30 hours. So if I work for 4 days, I will approximately complete the project by the end of day 4, and I will come back to Chennai after that. So that's how we plan how much resources do we need for particular project. So that's exactly how time study works. And the last is fatigue study. Determine how much rest and intervals is to be given in between and at the end of a task. So we all know the importance of recovery If we don't recover and if we keep on push, and if we keep on pressing the gas pedal and we keep on going, we will get burnt out at one point. They call this sharpen the saw, isn't it? So if you are trying to cut a tree and you have a saw, you first sharpen the saw. The more you sharpen the saw, the faster and the easier it is for you to cut the tree. This is a term that is used to connote how recovery is important for the people, how physically and mentally every person should recover before they resume the job. So that is fatigue study. So recovery is part of the job, even though it may look and sound unproductive because workers are not actually working when they are in a recovery period. It is unavoidable because if you don't give enough recovery period to the workers, they will be burnt out and their output and their contribution will start to diminish after a while if they are not recovered properly. And ultimately, that will also be an added cost for the factory. It will increase the cost of the products, it will lead to unnecessary abnormal losses, and it has many undesired consequences. Therefore, when you plan for a workflow, you should also plan for recovery. In modern day, a lot of sports team, in any sport for that matter, be it football or basketball or rugby, the teams invest so much on the recovery of the players. Let's say there is a Premier League football, a team plays for almost 38 games in the Premier League itself. Beyond that, they also play other league games as well. So almost the team plays, let's say 50 to 60 games in a year, which is high intensity games. If the players don't get recovered properly, they will be injured in the next game. Ultimately, it will result to bad performance for the team. So now I hope you understood this concept of fatigue study. So these are the 4 studies that come under Taylor's scientific management techniques. I will see you in the next class. Thank you. Bye bye.